Heaven.
Hello and welcome to Who Is Best, a show where I, Cloudane, take games that give you choices and rate those choices in a tier list. Let's do another Star Ocean tier list. And yes, I know you want me to get to the older titles, and we'll get there. But today we're going to be talking about the newest, and in my opinion, the best Star Ocean in the series, the Divine Force, or Star Ocean 6. Star Ocean 6 dropped out of nowhere, and I, like many others, were not too excited to play it, as the previous title may possibly have been one of the laziest attempts at an RPG since Sonic Chronicles. But then the trailers came out showing dynamic gameplay and exploration, and I think many of us thought, Then Elena's character was introduced. We'll be discussing which party member is best in Star Ocean 6. There are 8 characters to choose from, with 2 extra party members whose recruitment is based off of which MC you chose at the beginning of the game. Like all previous titles, Star Ocean 6 is an action RPG where you take control of a single party member while an AI controls the remaining 3 in your party. Every character is better as a controlled party member, but there are some that make a better AI companion than others. The best strategy for an AI is to limit their skill selection to 1 or 2 of their best skills. This way, the AI has to use them. Another factor to consider is builds. You have 3 main builds in the game: short range, long range, and magic. Magic can be devastating, but long range physical attackers end up being one of the better builds when it comes to the harder difficulties. Finally, be sure to stick around till the end where we'll discuss the best endgame party as well as a bonus list. So let's jump into the tier. The undisputed worst character in the game is the Mechanical Samurai, JJ. JJ is an exclusive bonus character to Raymond's route and is acquired in the final hours of the game after an obscure quest. Almost 90% of his skill tree is based around counter skills, making him a pseudo tank that is expected to take damage. To use him optimally is very difficult, and even if done properly, he still isn't that good. To add insult to injury, JJ has the worst AI next to Malkia and must be controlled. Theo is the second optional character that is exclusive to Letitia's route. Unlike JJ, you do get access to him sooner, and he's average. Nothing too special here. He is a respectable mid-range fighter with some confusing skills that scale with intelligence instead of strength. The reason he barely beats out JJ is that he makes one of the better AI companions in Star Ocean 6. But even with that, he's still just the worst version of Raymond. The low tier. Malkia may suffer the worst from terrible AI than any other character. Due to her unique skill set of canceling out casting time, Malkia is just better if controlled. She can be built into a halfway decent mage or mid-range attacker, depending on your preference, but if left as an AI companion, you might as well switch her out for someone else. The mid-tier. The first member of the mid-tier is Midas. Midas is a bona fide caster with epic spells that devastate mobs. He also is a beefcake. Midas has the Spicule spell, which is the best spell in the game. Spamming this attack will simply melt enemies down. But the best part of Midas is that if set as an AI partner and only given the Spicule spell, he will almost be just as effective as if you were controlling him. Next is Raymond. Ray can put out incredible damage and plays like your typical large sword protagonist. As far as combos go, he'll be beat out by better characters, but that doesn't mean he has no place here. He's both a great controlled character or an AI one, and if built right, Ray can use All-In and Boulder Crush to put out some of the highest damage in the game. I'd place him in the tier for his design alone though.
What have you done to its eyes?
The final member of the mid-tier is Albert. Albert is your hybrid physical attacker / mage. He would be on the low tier ultimately if it wasn't for his Shadow Revenant skill, which doubles his attack, allowing you to pop off 2 spells or 2 attacks at the same time. That, coupled with his long range ability and peerless guillotine punishing both mobs and bosses alike, and you have a pretty awesome character. Albert stands as a very safe choice for your party as you get him early, his AI is halfway decent, and he has no glaring faults overall. The top tier. First up on the top tier is Nina. Nina pretty much makes you unkillable. Unlike all the other characters in this game, Nina has no means of damage. Instead, she's wholly dedicated to healing your party. Now that might feel like a waste of a party slot, right? I mean, she can't even attack? Well, when you consider that she doesn't only heal, but has a combo that draws all party members close, including incapacitated ones, then heals or revives them, she's pretty damn useful. Now, there is a character in the God tier that makes her obsolete, but barring that build, Nina is a must-have for most party builds. The final member of the top tier is Leticia. Letty has less strength than Ray, but her damage output is comparable while also being a much more versatile character. Letty is the combo queen with incredible speed, super fast skills, and amazing spells that just place her at the top of any list. She's both highly effective as a controlled character or an AI partner. The final thing though that just rockets her up this list is that she has some of the best passive skills in Star Ocean 6. A small gripe, you should have been able to keep her in her wedding attire for the remainder of the game, but whatever. The God tier. The best character in the game, both objectively and subjectively, is the babe-tastic android Elena. Elena possesses the single best attack in the game, Assassin. This is a wicked fast attack that has you almost instantly causing high amounts of damage with a scythe before kiting around the enemy for a backside blow. This is the only attack you will ever need in this game, but if that was all, she would have stayed in the top tier with the others. The main reason Elena's in the God tier is that she can both be your main DPS and healer all at the same time with the right build. Elena's weapons possess a unique ability that heals your allies as you damage enemies. Stack these abilities up on one weapon, equip Reyna, and this game is easy. And speaking of easy, let's move into our final member of the God tier and single best character in the game, Mariel. Mariel is a long-range DPS that kind of just breaks Star Ocean 6 completely. You see, all the characters that came before were all good in their own way, but Mariel's ability to strafe around the battlefield picking off enemies at a safe distance is the best strategy for any battle. Sure, it's cheap, but isn't that the idea of the God tier? Oh, and don't forget that if you give her Energy Burst and Predator Ray, and set her as an AI, then she'll continue this strategy while you control a different character. Absolute perfection. Now, as for best party, really it's hard to say as all these characters are close together in ability. That being said, using Elena, Mariel, Midas, and Albert with long-range attacks only will probably give you the cheapest party. My personal preference is to control Elena with her healer build, while using both Mariel and Midas' long-range DPS, and filling the force space with either Letty, Albert, or Ray. And that's my list. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all later. Bonus round. Alright, this isn't a list. I want to just gush over Elena for another second. Yes, she's hot, but did you notice how cool her weapon is? It's this stick that transforms into a sword, scythe, gun, or spear. This is so cool, and I really didn't know where I was going to put this, so I made it a bonus round, which is kind of cheap, and I'm sorry, but hey, she's cool, and her weapon's cool, and I love this design. What a comeback for Star Ocean.